And now following Edmundo, Felipe Repetto will be joining us directly from Italy at the MacFruit trade show. Felipe is the trade commissioner from ProChile in Italy. Thank you, Felipe, for joining us, and as always, for your constant support. So Felipe will give us an overview on the Italian market for Chilean walnuts. The screen is yours, Felipe.
Thank you very much. Can you confirm you're hearing well, Pedro? Yes?
Yes, no problem.
Okay, sure. So first of all, thank you very much, Edmundo, for the invitation and also for the initiative. Congratulations. I think it's clearly very important to continue informing producers, exporters, all the importers, all the supply chain of what's going on in Chile, and keeping information up to date in a world that it's actually changing very fast, with many events going on in a global scale that affect, of course, the produce and the imports and exports of Chile. So I will share with you a brief presentation of what is going on in Italy. Let me full screen. So the idea here is for you to have an overview on what's going on with walnuts in Chile. My name is Felipe Repetto. I'm the trade commissioner of Chile in Italy. We're based in Milan, and I would just like to start saying that actually now, today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, we are actually showcasing products from Chile in the MacFruit Fair. It's the biggest and most important fair for fruits and also machinery related to the fruit industry, agricultural in Italy. We are actually with a couple of companies that actually do walnuts and are being promoted here. So it takes place in Rimini, which is part of Emilia-Romagna region, like 2 hours from Milan south. So I would like to start sharing with you some numbers of the macroeconomics. These are numbers that were expected in January. So the last quarter, the first quarter haven't been released, the last report. So this is projection. So you can see Italy it's performing very well after COVID, and there are huge expectations of how it's going to grow. Also, inflation was very much controlled, and projections for the inflation were also very good. What happened is that in the current situation, Europe has been influenced, and then I would say that what you see in the upper right corner that relates to the change between the euros and USD and dollars are showing a performance that is, of course, influencing exports in a very wide range of products, because most of the trade is done for many products outside of Europe are done in US dollars, and then it's becoming more and more expensive in the last 2 months. The euro has lost a lot of value compared to the dollar. So this is a situation in which we need to be very careful, and of course exporters need to be very aware that this is the situation, the current situation for Europe, and of course it is the same for Italy. However, the projections of growth are there. There are many instruments, European and also national instruments, put in place to support production, to support industrial growth, to support digitalization, and this can be seen in the projections as a whole in the medium term, I would say. So just to give a brief context, why is Chile important for Italy? Of course, we do many more things with Italy, but when it comes to food, the most important products are nocciole, and then for Ferrero, but this is mostly a closed market. And then we have walnuts, and then of course we have kiwi, we have prunes, we have pears. But walnuts is the second most important product for Chile. For Italy and Chile. So it's quite important, and so it's good to have a look and to keep monitoring what is going on. So comparing 2021 with 2020, we saw a growth of 37% in trade, and that's roughly $14 million increase. And if we go and see the details, and excuse me, these are Italian statistics, so it's in euros. And then also, I also wanted to highlight the volume that it's growing. You'll see that when we speak about in-shell walnuts, there is a position of leadership from the US, but they have been losing market share when it comes to Italy in the last 2 years. And then you see Chile performing quite well, or keeping their volumes, keeping their share in the market. So you see in the right hand a cake diagram which shows which is actually built in volume. So you see that Chile have 1/5 of the market share here in Italy, and the US is the biggest player. But when and then you see the total imports, you see roughly 400,000 kilos of imports from Italy. And when we instead see what's going on with shelled walnuts, we see the leadership of Chile, and also the increase that the growth that it took place last year, taking a big crunch of the market with 38%, leaving behind other markets. So what it's interesting in this specific market, as you see in the 4th and the 5th positions, you see Ukraine and you see Moldavia, and then we're gonna also give a brief comment on what's the situation down there. But of course, sadly there is an opportunity when it comes to the situation that is taking place in these countries, and of course also how Europe is helping on maintaining the market shares of specifically Ukraine. When it comes to Chile, it's very important to say that we have a preferential tariff. So we have 0% tariffs in in-shell and 0% tariffs in shell walnuts. And then this is not the case for the other players that you were seeing in the graphs. Of course, when it comes to Europe, there's no tariff, but when it comes to the US, when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to Moldova, there is, of course, there is a 4 or 5.1% that they need to pay. So this is an advantage for Chile. So what are the importers and the distributors saying in Italy? So we made a survey. We spoke to some of them, and we collected this information. So let's say that before the COVID pandemic, the transit time was 30 days. This is how the amount that everyone is used to. Now it's taking up to 2 months. So this is the first thing, time. The current situation of logistics, as Edmundo was saying, it's about cost, but it's also about time. And when it comes to time, it's not only affecting on Chile, it's also affecting on other players. So specifically when it comes to time, this had created a situation in which the presence of American walnuts arrived later to the Italian market and with lower prices. So this created a situation in which the exports or the imports from Chile to Italy will suffer this effect. Also, when it comes to the cost of logistics, and you know this situation, but it's also important to highlight it. So it has tripled or even quadrupled due to the space scarcity in vessels. And what everyone is saying is that new vessels have been should be on water at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year, and this should take back to a point of equilibrium the situation. But currently the situation of logistics is very complicated, and it's also complicated because of what's going on in China due to the velocity, I mean the rhythm in which ports are working. Of course, this has created a situation in which importers are sometimes constrained of buying smaller amounts from other stakeholders in Northern Europe in terms of instead of doing direct imports of far origins, but in larger quantities. So this is more or less what is going on. Also, in another note, again, the high cost of shipping and the fact that Chilean exporters are used to FOB prices makes exports a bit more challenging. And this also is very much related to the fact that the current exchange rate complicates Italian and European buyers as prices are getting higher and higher, as you would say. So that's the 1.05 USD euro to USD that we are seeing actually in these days. It's volatile, of course. It goes up and down. It has a lot to do with the oil imports, with the gas imports, with the sanctions that are being put into Russia, and how the markets are reacting to that situation. And it's difficult to predict what is going to happen in the next months. But this is the current situation, and of course, this makes this situation puts into an alert to buyers to know and to try to predict when is the right moment, of course, to make the negotiations and to settle a price. Of course, when it comes to walnuts, specifically varieties, Chandler is still the most preferred one in Italy. And but why not other varieties may be considered if the price gap becomes bigger and bigger. And as I was saying before, this was also there was an importer that also told us that the unavailability of walnuts from Ukraine, it's opening space for other countries' origins. But it must need to be said that, for instance, the European Union, to try in a way to try to help Ukraine, they make they passed a fast law to make Ukraine products in tariff zero. So they, if I'm not wrong, from March from this year, the walnuts from Ukraine has no more tariff. Before they were paying 4 or 5.1 for the product. So in few words, what is going on with the Chilean walnut in Italy, we can say that, of course, it's very appreciated, the high quality. They know that this is a fact, and nobody is going to debate that. Of course, the counter-seasonal product works very well for their demand. And of course, we have preferential import tariff that, of course, puts us in a position of conveniency in a way or another. But in a drawback, we can say that there's still an availability of US walnuts at convenient prices because of the transit times that makes them arrive later, the higher shipping costs, and of course the exchange rate of US dollars and euros. So these are the conditions. This is the current situation. But I insist, it's very volatile, and of course, exporters and producers will need to go through tough negotiations and in the right moment to understand when and how to close the deals and start shipping the products to Italy. But this in many cases affects also the European context. So this is my intervention. Thank you very much for your time, and of course I'm available at my email, and of course we are the Trade Promotion Office of Chile to Italy, so we are available. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity. We are available to help producers, exporters, and also the association. So congratulations and thank you very much to Chilenut for doing this, for creating these spaces of debate, of communication. I think it's very important, and keep in touch for what is going on, what is going to happen in the next weeks and months. Thank you very much.
Felipe, thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you very much for your support. As we said, If anyone has any questions that they would like to give Felipe, please let us know. The email you should send it to is chilenut@chilenut.cl. We will forward the questions to Felipe, and if you need his email, we will gladly give it to you.